Get in with the right people, and the right people is everyone.
All right, welcome.
Here we are. Welcome, everybody, back to the
Joe and Todd show.
I'm Todd Wade.
I'm Joe Mathis. It's good to be together. This is 14.
Episode 14. Here we are.
Hitting our teen episodes.
That's right. Our teen years.
This is a fun one. Being intentional about building relationships.
Yeah, we were like, should we?
I don't know.
Tell people that we're being intentional about
like
building a friendship with
manipulative.
them? I don't know. I think it. That sounds so so bad.
Well,
no, I mean, it should make someone feel good that you want to be friends with them, and so you're doing something to build a relationship with them. I mean,
no, that's exactly right.
It sounds conceited. Like people should feel honored that I want to be their friend. No, but I mean, I like knowing that someone
out of the movie or the musical Wicked.
Friend.
Yeah, less fortunate than me.
Oh yeah.
I said that was our song one time. He was the person singing it. Anyway, So
yeah, he played it for me. I have not seen the musical. Sorry, I'm not a musical guy.
Anyway, being intentional, I think it's really one of the secrets to succeeding in business, succeeding in your role. You're really building relationships with your staff, your vendors, your clients, obviously, and just learning to do that with purpose and intention. And I have to confess, I'm one of those people that I tend to put relationships at the low of my priority list. It's the way I am. It's the way I was built. It's the way I'm an introvert.
Yeah. So the whole idea for this episode came about when we were just kind of throwing around ideas about like stories that I like to hear Joe tell. And, I mean, some of my favorite stories that Joe tells are about his dad. And his dad, as he was telling me earlier, was an introvert, and he would actually think about in his car as he drove down to Tulsa. He would think about how he was going to have a conversation and how it was going to go. He'd plan it all out, and so that he wouldn't be stressed out when he had these conversations with people. And that's a lot like you. You're very so. For those of you who don't know, Joe's the introvert, and I'm actually the extrovert, which you wouldn't necessarily know that if you're in a meeting with us. Joe talks a lot during a meeting, but it's because he wants to control the conversation.
So it's not about me. I don't want people to talk about me. My dad was an auctioneer. My brother posted recently on Facebook, and he said my dad was an auctioneer and he was an entertainer. And actually, he was an entertaining auctioneer. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. He worked hard at building a relationship with people as an entertainer. He wanted to have fun with them. He wanted to joke with them, engage with them.
So he was engaging, and that's why that's what made him a good entertainer. That's great.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that was part of his key to his success in his life was he learned how to involve people and how to engage them and talk about them and talk about themselves and all that. And I've thought a lot about that.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And I think for me, it is hard sometimes to have relationships as a priority. And I have to almost remember, I really want to do that. I really want to learn more about that. I really want to go to lunch with them. I really want to spend time with them, and being very intentional about that. I can let stuff get in the way of that. And I think that's one of the things that being in business with you, Todd's really helped me is you really allow me and encourage me to make those things a priority. When we're getting ready to spend money on somebody, give them a gift or something,
take them to lunch.
You're all for it. And I think for a long time, I've had kind of that filter of, oh, well, is that too expensive? Or, are they really worth that gift? Or is that really worth doing? And you've really helped me to say, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. And one of the things we'll talk about later is you, how do we word it exactly? Oh, get in with the right people, but the right people is everyone. Everyone is the right people, because you don't know who's going to end up being the decision maker or the key person that's going to influence the next project that you get. And, we were talking about assistants, oftentimes they're the gatekeepers to the decision maker, and so getting in with them is important. Getting in with the leader of the city is important. The person down the hall, the lawyer down the hall, or whatever it is. All people are important.
Yeah,
And
I think
just
that's
focusing on people and the relationships with those people is key. So that's what this episode is all about, and just want to talk about a little bit about that.
I had a former boss who I learned a lot from him about sales and just doing stuff. One of the things he did a lot was if we were heading to make a sales call, he would stop and buy something, whether it be candy or flowers or whatever, for the, well, we a lot of times call a gatekeeper, for that assistant or that person who was outside the person's desk we were going to. And I remember one time we were in the city and we were trying to find out information. We were trying to figure out how to do something or who was in charge of something. And he had actually bought flowers and chocolates or something for someone we were about to meet. And this lady said something like, "Are these for me?" And he said, "Yes, they are. Now, can you tell me who does this?" And she spilled her guts. She told it all. And it's kind of one of those things like, wow, that was pretty interesting. But I think in a lot of ways, he saw the value in her, and she felt valued. She felt honored. And so, got the impression. Yeah. And I don't mean it to sound that manipulative at all, because that's not the core relationships. It's not what it's about. I have a weird thing I don't usually tell people, so kind of keep this a secret a little bit because it just sounds weird.
Don't tell
anybody. This is weird. I like going to funerals, and I just think I liked going to funerals of my friends' family, like grandparents and parents that I may not know. So multiple reasons, but one of the things I love is learning about someone and trying to take away one thing about their life. Like, what's that one thing I can learn from them, and how can I be more like them tomorrow? And one day I was sitting at a funeral and just kind of thinking through that, like what is interesting about this person that I can learn from? And it hit me that everyone I meet, I should have that philosophy about. Like, everyone you meet, like if someone's, if you're arguing with somebody over something, to sit back and kind of go, okay, what's their perspective? What can I learn from them right now? What are they thinking? And then can I make their day better? What's something I can do?
An important attitude to have when you're meeting anybody. And I feel like I read a book in college. I can't remember what it's called. Celebration of Discipline, I think it was called. And it was one of the chapters was about listening and listening well, and basically deciding that this person you're talking to has something interesting to say, and you can learn from them, whether it's how to quilt an Afghan or whatever it is.
I don't think you quilt Afghans,
whatever you do to Afghans. I don't know. Make an Afghan.
Crochet.
Or, how to make an herb chicken or whatever it is.
Buy stocks in the stock market.
Yeah, buy stocks in the stock market. Yeah. That person has experience and interests that you don't know anything about, and find something interesting in their life and dig into it. Start asking about it.
Another episode, I think it was 8 maybe, we talked about just the importance of kind of having that plan of people to even strategize that you're making friends with. And it's something, again, that I think we try to do a lot. One of the core values of our company is to help people feel special, help people feel good, make people better, be intentional with helping honor people. And I think in life's moments or whatever, so we send out birthday cards to a lot of people. We don't send them to everybody because we don't have everyone's address. If you want our birthday, if you want to send us your birthday and an address, we'll send you a birthday card. But we do that a lot. We send gifts to a lot of people. But I think part of the thing we have to remember sometimes is that moment of helping someone feel really good. So one thing I did recently, again, it's a little bit of a stretch for me, but I tried to think of things. I actually made a list of people that have spoke into my life, people who have had a significant impact. And I tried to think of people that I haven't thanked before, and then even what's something they would never dream about that made an impression on me. What's something that they did that was so cool for me, but they probably have no idea. And so I just wrote a simple little note to several of those people. And I thought, I'm going to try to do that more. I just want to do that of like someone who's had an impact on me, thanking them for something they don't know they did. And I think that's a cool thing, especially teachers. You know, you got teachers or former employers or whatever. In my life, I feel like sometimes that I have ruined relationships. I've had some bad relationships or whatever. I've made some bad decisions. And, I think at this stage of my life, I even go back and try to figure out how can I repair some of those, or how can I learn from those, or how can I make them better? And, I think that's a constant deal, especially in business of, how can I make sure that people know I'm on their side and I'm for them? I want to work with them. I want to do good stuff for them. So
that's good. Another thing we talked about earlier as we were talking about notes was a book that my wife actually brought my attention to is called Giftology. And what's it? We have it around here somewhere. But anyways, one of the key concepts in there is giving people gifts that don't necessarily have your logo on it or anything, but it's something that they'll talk about. Like for the classic example is the knives, that they give away. It doesn't necessarily have your name engraved on the handle or anything, but it's such a great knife that you want to talk about it with people and, tell people the story of how you got the knife and who you got it from. And then by way of that conversation, people are bringing up your name and talking about you. So I think that's even something to remember as we're talking about gifting in events, giving things that are helpful to their everyday life, not just a little tchotchke that's got their name on it, but something that's going to be useful and helpful.
That's good stuff. I think back years ago, I had a client who every time a speaker came, they sent flowers the next morning to the speaker's significant other. So just a little gift, just to say thank you for sharing your husband or your wife or whatever. And that had a real impact on me, I think, of looking for that person who may not ever get credit, but had a significant impact on your event. They had a significant impact on you. You may not have met them. And for this client, they realized those spouses are the ones who are home, maybe taking care of the kids or making schedules happen or whatever, and saying, hey, yeah, I'd love for you to fly 1,500 miles and make this speech and come back and miss your son's birthday or whatever. And I think for my client to kind of key in on that and go, okay, they're going to do that. I'm going to honor that person who sacrificed. I'm going to honor them. And they were known to buy kids' toys and they were known to buy all kinds of things. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I've kind of thought about that a lot of who's the hidden person, who's the person that's sacrificing in the background, and how can I improve their life? How can I make that better? How can I honor them? How can I say thank you? And I don't do that well all the time, but I think looking for that and looking for those opportunities is important.
Yeah, that's good. So, just look for ways to help build relationships with people. So Joe mentioned the birthday cards, but we also send thank you notes, handwritten notes. It's
text messages,
lost art,
emails,
written notes.
Yeah, handwritten notes are big.
But yeah, I mean, Joe's just kind of picked out some key people in this last year that he wants to build relationships with. So he's starting to send emails to them, at key times in their lives, and they're now responding back very positively. And even if it's somebody that seems like they're untouchable, they're still people, and they need friends and relationships and support and encouragement just like anybody else does.
I've long liked the underdog, and I think in national news, sometimes you'll see someone who's getting a lot of attention or someone who's maybe not doing well in the public opinion world, or something happened. And I think there are times that I'll tweet or I'll email, you know, reach out to them however I can, and I've not had a lot of response back. But I think sometimes even if there's an assistant reading that, that's got to be a positive encouragement that comes along. It's just a little weird thing again. I think goes a long ways in building those relationships.
Yeah. I have a story. I was working at an architecture firm, and the head of the architecture firm said, if you want to really get ahead in this company, you need to be going out to lunch with the leaders in the company. You just invite them to lunch. And I was kind of terrified. Like, I was like, but he's the president of the company. I don't want to take him. I just felt weird about doing it, and I never did actually do it. But
and
I
you
really
no longer work there,
and I no longer work there. Yes, this is true.
I'm glad. I'm glad
yeah.
you didn't do it.
Good for Joe. Good for me.
Yeah.
Good in the end. But no, I mean, but we are doing that now. We're taking heads of companies to lunch, and we're taking people that we want business with to lunch. PR firm people. We're taking them to lunch. We're just getting to know people in the community. And right now is probably a bad time to take somebody to lunch just because of COVID. But when things get back to normal. But there's other ways to do that. You've got thank you notes, handwritten notes, like we were just saying, emails, all that stuff.
We've tried to DoorDash some people. That's awkward. We don't know how to do that. If you know a good way to do that, let us know, because it's been weird. We tried that.
Yeah,
personal phone calls.
What's a good substitute for going to lunch? We're open to ideas on that.
No, we tried several. It didn't work.
Figure that out.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, this is a good, quick topic we wanted to get out there and share with you guys. Some of our takeaways. Again, relationships are probably the most important thing in your day. We spend a lot of time talking with each other, talking with people on the phone, talking with our employees, just getting to know them, finding out what's important to them and what makes them tick and how we can help each other. Number 2, be interested in people. People are key to your business. And then number 3, 2 and 3 are kind of the same thing. Number 3 is take time to meet people and make friends. And then lastly, like as we were saying earlier, get in with the right people, and the right people is everyone. So
this has been fun. We really want to encourage you. We want to be friends with you, and we'd love to hear your struggles, to hear things that you want to do better, and how we can help that, how we can support that. We'd love to be a part of that, and feel free to email us or talk to us. I have a friend who is a household name, someone that probably all of you would know, and she was an entertainer at an event one time, and I overheard her talking to another friend, and she said, I really like you. Do you ever text? And this is like 2010. And she's like, yeah, I love to text. And she's like, okay, well, let's text back and forth. And it was a really funny, like, I overheard the whole conversation. It was really cool. And it was really funny because I realized this person who is a household name wants a friend that she can text, and wants a friend that she can reach out to. And she's just met this person, and she's really enjoyed her. She's enjoyed the conversation. And so they're exchanging phone numbers. And that was a lesson to me. That was just a really cool thing to me of the value you can have in people's lives and the ways that you can do that. And I've for a long time, I've set out to do that. I've set out to be valuable to other people in their life. And I think that's one of the secrets to being a great event planner. That's one of the secrets to being successful in business. And that's what we want to encourage you today. So we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. It would also mean the world to us if you would like us, please like us on Facebook and Instagram, but also if you would rate us, review us on all the places you listen to podcasts, Apple, iTunes, and review us also on Google, and talk about our company, talk about what we've helped you with, or how we've learned. That would really mean a lot to us. We really value that feedback. We value listening to you and where you're at. So please be in touch. I'm Joe at rumbledrum.com. And that's just like it sounds, rumbledrum.com. Todd@rumbledrum.com. Email us, info@rumbledrum.com. If you don't know which one you want to talk to us both, whatever. Our website's rumbledrum.com, and check us out there. Fill out the contact form. We'd love to be in touch. Our address and phone numbers on there. We'd love to connect with you. So please don't hesitate to call us and connect. We'd love to do more. So episode 15 next week.
On the way.
It's going to be fun. So thanks again for tuning in today. This is the Joe and Todd Show.
Have a great day. Hang in there. People are important.
That's right. Have a good day.